This is the last Amazing Spider-Man Torn issue that will be released in 2025. I kind of like that this series is going to be continuing for a little bit next year. Something to look forward to. But I really like the covers of this one. But so far on this channel, I have been nothing but honest about everything I read. And again, I gotta be bluntly honest that out of all three issues of this series, this is probably the weakest so far. But I understand why. It has the unfortunate timing of being the in between of everything. Because Spider Man and she still doesn't really have a name yet, but they kind of have a fight. They don't really fight too much, they just push each other around. She touches the book and she gets sealed inside of it, which is really confusing. And because Peter was injured in the last issue and everyone saw it, he's rushed to the hospital. But for some reason, MJ gets really awkward when Gwen shows up. And Gwen has no problem showing her feelings for Peter, which I find really interesting because in the first issue, she was pushing Peter to be with MJ, and now she's kind of like taking Peter away from her. And Evangeline ends up in this kind of new realm. I really like the artwork on this double spread. It's really good. This right here feels like a different comic all of a sudden. I really like this part. This is really good. I don't know what this world is or what this entity is. I have no idea what any of this is going on, but I kind of like it. Because I've said in the past that Spider-Man is the one superhero I know the most about, so not knowing what's going on is I kind of like it. It's a new thing for me after a while. But these two pages are incredibly important as Aunt May kind of explains why Peter the way he is and why he protects everyone so much because of his trauma in his past. And she explains how Peter lost his parents when he was a child, and usually children think their parents are invincible, and they never came back. And after years of dealing with that, Uncle Ben told Peter over and over again that don't worry, Pete, we'll always be here for you. And after years, Peter finally believed him. And after he believed that they would always be there for him, then he gets shot. And this is why Peter has a protector personality about him and why he tries so hard to put everything on his shoulders to stop people from dying. And this is kind of even more sad when you think that Gwen is going to die eventually anyway. So Peter is just always going to have to deal with this trauma for most of his life. And that's one reason why I've always really liked reading Spider-Man. It was cool to see Aunt May finally put it into words. I really liked that part. So while I say this is the weakest issue, this has the strongest character moments and interactions so far. It is a really slow issue, like I said, but I think it's worth it to slow down for these character moments because even in this scene, Harry comes in to talk to Peter about how things are awkward between them because he's dating Gwen, but she obviously still has feelings for Peter. But Peter, in this scene, finally admits to him that MJ is the one that he really cares about. And I realized in my last video when I was calling it Spider-Man Torn, and I understand why it's called Torn, I think I was right by saying that because Peter does feel torn in this whole situation with everything. And I don't know what's going on in this last panel. I'm just showing it because I don't feel like it's spoilers because it's hard to tell what's going on. The entity that's talking to her said it's going to reveal what they kind of look like through a veil, and I still don't know what they are and what this is, but it says to be continued. And I'll be honest, when I first read this issue and I got here, I kind of said to myself, that's it? Because I kind of thought there would be a little bit more in this issue, but like I said, it was about the quiet character moments between Harry and Peter and MJ and Aunt May. And I really like the Aunt May and MJ moments they have. This is actually, for those who don't know, this is actually quite a common occurrence in the comics for MJ and Aunt May to have this kind of relationship, and I liked seeing it in this comic. I don't know how possible it is, but I would really like it for this series to get a sequel. But that's it for issue 3. A slower issue, but I think it was worth it to slow down to learn more about these characters in this world. We only have 2 issues left. I'm expecting the last 2 to kind of pop off because Evangeline is going to come back. That's what the cover looks like for issue 4. But I'm expecting it when she comes back that she's going to look like this. I thought she was going to look like this in this issue. It'll probably be the next one. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're all looking forward to issue 4 as much as I am. And I'll see you all in the next one. Laters.